Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight on our news.
More than $9 million was spent on Bahamas Junkanoo Carnival. That story straight ahead.
The Bahamar payout process began this morning, and we have the details straight ahead.
Day one of the Miami Heat training camp right here in the Bahamas. That story coming up.
Welcome to our news and thanks for joining us. I'm Christina McNeil. Topping news tonight, the Bahamas National Festival Commission has finally released its financial summary for the 2016 Bahamas Junkanoo Carnival that was held more than 4 months ago. The figures show that the annual event was nearly $3 million over budget. Our Jasmine Brown has the breakdown. Jasmine?
That's right, Christina. While those commission officials said they reduced costs and spent less, they also admitted that they didn't exactly make a profit this year. In April, BNFC Chairman Paul Major said the government would spend about $7 million to host the festival. However, it was revealed that much more was spent. According to the report, a total of $9.8 million was spent to pull off the festival. With a total income of $9.9 million, that means Carnival pulled in a profit of just $31,000. However, Major defended that figure, insisting it's not just about profits.
This is not a profit exercise. It has never been, and it never will be. Nowhere in the world is a carnival a profit venture. In Trinidad, they spend, I think we've estimated somewhere around, based on the conversion, around $40 million a year. The government may make taxes of, I don't know what the number is, but it ain't 40 million. But it ain't about that.
As for how much the government pumped into Junkanoo Carnival, the report indicated there was a government subsidy of $8.1 million. The event also secured $1.2 million in sponsorships, while ticket sales and other revenue only accounted for $578,342. Last year, the inaugural Junkanoo Carnival cost government $12.9 million, exceeding the Commission's initial budget of $9 million. Despite going over budget, Major says the Commission should be commended for cutting costs by more than 30%.
In terms of direct expenditure, in 2015, we spent $12.8 million. In 2016, we spent $8.3 for a whopping $4.5 million cost reduction, or 35%. That is admirable. If any other business I ran, I was able to reduce my cost by 35% the first year, I would not have only run 4 corporations by this time, but I would have probably been somewhere up on Wall Street.
As for why it took so long to release the figures, Major insisted the process was tedious and could not be rushed.
There's nothing late about the report. We would have liked to have had it sooner, but we're here.
Now, Major says just like last year, they learned some lessons in 2016 that they hope to implement for the next Junkanoo Carnival. Reporting for our news, I'm Jasmine Brown. Back to you, Christina.
Thanks, Jasmine. Well, the first phase of the payout process for those 2,000 plus employees who were laid off from Bahamar late last year began this morning and will continue until Thursday, according to Vice President of Public Administration and External Affairs, Robert Sands. Workers made their way to the Crystal Palace Training Hotel at 7 a.m. to collect their checks. And as Simone Davis tells us, there were mixed reactions when workers got their money. Here's her report.
As workers came in one by one to collect their checks, some expressed that they were pleased with the amount they received, while others left disgruntled, claiming that they did not receive even close to what they were owed.
It's almost like a disclaimer, just in case anything happens. Sign this first, so you don't come back and try to get nothing else out of us.
It feels great. I actually didn't realize that I still have money owed, so it's good to have some money coming back in.
Actually a gift of joy, to be honest with you. A slow recession time actually came in good hand.
Good. It was a good experience also, and I feel pretty impressed with what I got.
Chairman of the Claims Committee, James Smith, suggested that those former workers not happy with the amount they received are ungrateful. Due to the nature of the situation, he suggested that they should be happy they received anything at all.
Bear in mind that, and this is a very important point, under ordinary circumstances, nobody would have been getting anything because they are unsecured creditors. The Chinese Import-Export Bank made available this money after negotiations. And while I would like to see everybody get what they expect, if it turns out they didn't, they can come back and talk to us. And even after that, if they still don't get it, I think they have to sit and decide for themselves whether they are not being a bit ungrateful.
Smith encouraged those employees to meet with the committee to express their concerns. Senior Vice President of Administration and External Affairs at Bahama, Robert Sands, would not say how much money is being paid out over the next few days, but he explained how the process would be handled.
Well, we're not prepared to discuss the quantum, but this represents the claims of these individuals who would have been separated from Bahama almost over a year ago. And it also represents payouts, but also represent payments that will go to the national insurance and to the pension fund board as well. So these are large sums of money that are being paid out today.
Sands said he is pleased that the payout process has begun and he expects all workers to be paid by Thursday. Reporting for our news, I'm Simone Davis.
And in the wake of Prime Minister Perry Christie's announcement that construction has restarted on the Baha Mar Resort, Long Island MP Loretta Butler Turner is calling on Prime Minister Perry Christie to prove he's not just talking off the top of his head. Dana Smith reports.
Butler Turner noted there's still a lot of unanswered questions surrounding the Baha Mar project, which she dubbed a make or break for the Progressive Liberal Party.
Christie led the media and members of his cabinet on a tour of Baha Mar yesterday afternoon, where he announced construction has resumed. However, Butler Turner said it seems to her the Prime Minister has only once again amassed a parade without giving any clear details.
See, we do want Baha Mar to open. We do want people back to work. But we do not want people to be sold a pig in the blanket.
Butler Turner questioned why the Export-Import Bank of China has, so far, been silent on the matter, despite the stake it has in the multi-billion-dollar development.
We have yet to see representatives from the actual XM Bank. The Prime Minister appears to be the spokesperson on behalf of the Chinese people, the XM Bank, and CCA.
The Long Island MP demanded to know exactly how much money the XM Bank put forward to get Baha Mar restarted.
I don't see anybody coming into town to herald that this is an agreement that, XM is fully on board with. I'm not suggesting that that is not the case, but the question must be asked. Where is the presence of the XM Bank in all of this?
Butler Turner said the Baha Mar project may be the Christie administration's last chance to get something right.
I think it's very important that the Prime Minister comes to the Bahamian people with very tangible answers and contracts to demonstrate that he is not just talking to us off the top of his head, but that he has in hand the documents that are stating that this is what XM Bank has agreed to do, this is the amount of money they have agreed to expend, and this is how much they've already spent to mobilize. Other than that, I must ask the question, who in fact is paying the tab for this mobilization at this point?
Reporting for our news, I'm Dana Smith.
In other news, more than a month after an expletive-filled song about Prime Minister Perry Christie and his family made the rounds on social media, Christie revealed that he and his wife met with the writer of the song that caused him incredible pain. While speaking at an event on Grand Bahama, Christie questioned how someone could use such vile words to describe his wife and daughter just because they are related to him.
I'm hoping that we could avoid that. Because for a woman who's been married to a man for 42 years, to be called a whore, for a daughter who's looking forward to life, to be so called, and the only fault, if it is a fault, that they have is my wife is married to me and my daughter is my child. But I can never forgive someone for attacking Adam.
However, Christie says what hurt the most is the remarks about his son Adam, who is autistic.
But I could never forgive someone for attacking Adam. God created people like Adam, and they're innocent, truly innocent.
Christie revealed that the songwriter cried and apologized after he had the opportunity to meet Adam, who embraced him. He says his wife also turned the other cheek, but questioned whether she could forgive him for the things said about their son.
And I heard her tell the police, do not do anything to him. I heard her say to him, I wanted to see you because I felt anyone who could do that about a mother didn't have a mother. But you have a mother who appears to be a prayer warrior herself. She said, I could take care of myself and my daughter could. But I want you to know, this is my wife talking and I'm sitting there and a police officer there. I want you to know that I don't know how to forgive you for Adam.
Still to come on Our News. Our News goes inside the Miami Heat training camp in Paradise. And a construction expert gives his take on the recent Baha Mar opening announcement. That's coming up when Our News returns.